It's like ripping off a bandage at a certain point. You just need to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that is this book.
That is this book. Hello and welcome to another week of Not My Cup of Tea, the podcast where we read and review the widest romance novels out there so you don't have to. We are back today with a long form book.
Oh, right. So I think maybe also, obviously, you starting a new job, me starting uni, like, it has taken us a hot minute to do a long book, but also, we fucking hated the book we had planned.
That was a large factor. Like, I was really struggling to get through it, so...
I couldn't listen to more than, like, an hour. Like, I don't know how I managed to do it the first time round. I just, like, blasted through it in one day, and I was just like, yeah, fuck this book. But we had to review it, because I was like, oh, fuck this book, but also I want to talk about this now. Like, I've spent an Audible credit, I will do it.
Well, my name is Johanna, and with me is...
Ren.
And, okay, well, first of all, this is really important in this one, so we've actually read this, obviously, and so, content warnings, my guy, like,
holy shit.
You definitely have a look at this, and, like, you're gonna get really mad, I already know, because I already am, so,
I sat and ranted to Ross about it last night. Like,
yeah.
I genuinely had, like, a rant, and he was just like, okay.
Okay. So, yeah, please definitely read through all of them, and, like, you know, whereas in other books we have, like, some mentions of stuff, like, in this one, like, there's a lot of, like, really shitty dynamics and stuff in there, so...
I don't think there's anything, like, explicitly triggering, but also, fuck these characters, you know?
Exactly. So, just wanted to put this out there up front. Well, after we've already teased it and, like, really hyped it up, what's the name of the book?
It is a Flashbang by Meghan March.
Fuck you!
Fuck you, Meghan. How dare you make me read this?
I know, with my own two eyes.
How dare you put this on Audible?
I know.
There's actually, I'm pretty sure there's at least a sequel.
Oh,
yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean...
She's a best-selling author.
Oh yeah, she's written a bunch of books apparently,
Yeah.
which is wild to me, but...
I've blatantly refused to review another one though.
I know, say, this is a one-off, mate, like, I'm ready to, like, subtweet her when this comes out and be like, bitch,
you.
what the fuck?
Oh my god. Yeah, any general thoughts? I just want to dive right in to just explain why we hate this book
I think
so
we
much.
just get over it and explain it.
Usually I'd say not to yuck your yum, but no, I am yucking your yum. Yeah. This book is awful. Please do not.
And if you
don't tweet me about how good it is. I will ignore it.
Exactly. If you like it, I will actively shame you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sorry,
not sorry. Right. Well, as per usual, we kind of split it, so we're gonna sum up the chapters back and forth.
Yeah.
And
this book's a little bit different. So some of the chapters were literally only a couple minutes to read. So we're gonna kind of handle it in little chunks.
Yeah, exactly.
We're also we have so much to say about this that we're expecting to split this into a part 1 and a part 2 because we're angry.
Yeah, exactly. That's happening, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, today we're gonna go just over halfway, and then next week you're gonna get the grand finale.
So the book opens on quite a grim note. There is an apocalyptic event caused by a plane crash in Chicago.
I thought the plane crash was a symptom of it.
What do you mean?
Oh, what? I thought the plane crashed because of the EMP.
Oh.
Like that was.
I guess I've never thought about that.
All right. Yeah, no, I thought the plane crashed because of the EMP.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't pick up on that. That's so funny. I thought, like, for whatever reason, the plane crashed and then they set off an EMP as it crashed, but that makes no sense. You're totally right. Okay, let's rephrase that. There's an apocalyptic event. An EMP is sent off in somewhere, Chicago.
Yeah. Isn't it like, I'm pretty sure it can happen, like, I mean, I might be way off here. If you have any science bros listening, please tell us. But I'm pretty sure it can be set off through, like, solar flares.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, it never gets explained in the book, does it? What actually happened?
No.
No.
I'm assuming that's sequel shit, but we're not reading
Yeah,
the
exactly.
sequel, so...
Anyway, there's an EMP and a plane crashes
Yeah,
in Chicago.
it's very much giving you, like, 9/11 vibes.
Yeah, it does.
Because everyone's kind of, like, watching this horror unfold.
Yeah.
Including our main character, Rowan, who is a swanky young lawyer in Chicago who has recently fallen from grace by a mysterious incident that is hinted at multiple times in the first few chapters. So obviously people start to assume that this is a terrorist attack, and Rowan notices that there is a major lack of help or electricity. Like, all the lights are off in the street, there's no fire engines, there's no police, there's no sounds of cars whatsoever, which obviously makes her panic. Similarly, her phone no longer works, so she suspects that this is much more than a simple plane crash, as you've said. Rowan takes off through the crowd, sprinting to her condo and ignoring the instinct to try and help anyone along the way. She seems to know what is going on, though, and we find out later that this is because her father was a bit of a doomsday nut and had prepped her for such a situation.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So when in her condo, again, no electronics work, so this kind of, again, confirms her suspicions, and it also sends her into a state of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
She starts to, like, talk to herself while she's changing out of her business swanky I'm a lawyer clothes, and she thinks about how trivial her old problems seem in this new reality.
I love, like, how fucking quickly she goes through, you know, like, all these epiphanies.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, you know, it's literally happened like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She very much goes through, like, the 6 stages of grief within a millisecond.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know?
Yeah.
Which, okay. Yeah, so this is the first mention by name of Charles and his wife, otherwise known as the Dictastic Charles, and his mistress of evil.
I forgot about that. I had repressed that.
Yeah. Remember, she got issues?
She do
be having issues.
She do.
Yeah. But again, none of this matters because, you know, the world is ending.
Yeah.
Clearly. She grabs a pre-made backpack that is, like, set up for her in her closet in case of emergencies, that was made by her father, so it is literally perfect for this situation as it has everything she would ever need to survive. So that's, like, rations and rope and
all the kind
flint
of shit.
and steel, all the shit that you get when you're playing a D&D campaign and, and you choose the adventurers or, like, the explorers, you know, like all the inventory shit, right? And she also has a taser. It's quite important.
True.
I don't think it gets mentioned again, but I wrote it down.
But it's important.
It's quite funny because she talks about how she was annoyed in the past that her dad, like, had bugged her to keep this.
Oh yeah, I remember
But
that.
it's definitely, like, one of those moments where her father's sitting there and, like, all of his electronics go off and he's just like, vindication!
My time has come!
Yeah, exactly. So now she's extremely grateful. She glances outside and the looting has already begun. Are we shocked?
No.
There are small fires in the street that will soon become uncontrollable because, as I've said, there's no fire trucks, and there are gunshots in the distance. So the world really has gone to shit within a matter of minutes.
Fucking rip, mate.
Yeah. So Rowan leaves the house with no feeling of remorse for her old life, apart from the fact that she will be leaving behind her assistant Amber, who she considered her only real friend.
Which is pretty sad. Like, if your only friend is your employee, like...
Yeah. You definitely get the impression that she's like, I'm too busy for friends. I'm a young, swanky lawyer. Like in Suits and in...
Yeah, I suppose. But I mean, that's a sad fucking life, you know?
TV shows. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you should have friends outside of work.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that should work, you know? Anyway. Although the people at her work had acted quite coldly towards her after the quote-unquote incident, she wishes them all well, leaving behind the facade of a swanky lawyer and returning back to her country girl roots.
You really love the word swanky, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, it's a fun word.
It's such
a fun word.
It's like the best combination of syllables I can think of.
Honestly...
Besides dissipated, I really love that word as well.
Also fair.
You know?
Yeah, I get you.
Just great.
Yeah.
That's why I say it so much. Yeah. So then we get a time jump to 6 days later. where Rowan has made it all the way to Michigan. I don't know geography, but apparently that's quite impressive.
I mean, it's the next state over, I think, isn't it?
That's
But still, like, you know, that's like a whole fucking state away.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
absolutely.
6 days, yeah, fuck
Yeah,
it, on foot.
absolutely, yeah.
But she is feeling quite exhausted because she's running away from someone.
I mean, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Dun, dun, dun. So she settles down for a moment under the cover, under some like cover of trees,
Yeah.
and she rests, though she doubts she will be able to sleep after what just happened. What just happened, Catherine? Well, I'll tell you.
Tell us, Catherine.
We found out that she is being chased by a group of rapey rednecks when she came upon their house after hearing a woman scream for help. Even though she knows it's not wise to go towards the noise, she couldn't help herself but picture her sister, so she had to go investigate. When she arrived at the trailer, hidden behind some piles of firewood so they wouldn't spot her, she watched as 3 men cuss and threaten a helpless woman, who they have presumably captured and continuously raped. So yeah, like straight away this book gets fucking dark.
Yeah, this is already like intense as fuck, like
Yeah.
straight off the bat.
Yeah. So Ro wishes that she had a proper kind of weapon so she could take them all out, and she tries to get a bit closer to hear what they're threatening this poor woman with, but she accidentally knocks over the wood she's hiding behind, so that obviously draws attention to herself.
Yeah.
And the men set off after Rowan, who leaves the woman behind regrettably, promising to come help her somehow. So we now kind of like flash forward again. Rowan is now resting and she hears a stick crack nearby in the bushes, and she takes off like a frightened deer. But it is incredibly dark, so she is running blind and gets scratched by branches as she sprints. Yeah.
Fun times.
Fun nights. She glances back as she thinks she hears a man speaking, but this only makes her trip and fuck up her ankle and wrist. Which is like, yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
Don't look behind.
Yeah, exactly. While you're running.
That's horror movie 101.
Exactly.
Don't look behind, ever.
Also, bitch, it's dark. It's not like it's gonna help you. Any,
what are
you
you
know
gonna
what I mean?
see?
Yeah.
What are you
What are you
gonna
gonna see? Are you gonna see dark? Yeah, that's what you're gonna see.
Yeah, well, Rowan immediately regrets this decision because obviously she realises she's screwed and she can no longer get away from them.
Yeah.
She uses some of her medical supplies to try and help her ankle, and she gets annoyed she didn't choose a med school rather than law school. There's quite a couple of mentions of this where she's like, oh, law school's so useless now. And
I
I'm
know,
like,
right?
okay.
Yeah, but you didn't know that, you know
But
what I mean?
you pick up other skills.
Yeah, exactly. And like you had a good career before like an extremely unlikely event happened, so
It would have been really interesting if she had implemented her use of law, like her practice of law, with what happens later on. Like
True,
it would have been really
actually.
interesting
Yes, it
if
actually
she
would
had
have been, yeah.
argued like correctly,
like a lawyer would,
like a
yeah,
lawyer
exactly.
would. But obviously that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, she's exhausted and almost wants to laugh at the disaster that this has become. She gives herself a little pep talk, which is actually quite nice, and she decides to just try hiding to get some sleep.
Yeah. Shout.
But as she's settling down once again, she hears the bushes rustle and she struggles to see if she has been spotted, sensing a presence behind her. And before she can grab her weapon, a hand clamps over her mouth.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah.
That's part 1 done. So, who's the presence? Why don't we ask Johanna? Right, so we switched perspective, and also in the audiobook narrator to a raspy manly voice.
He is very raspy.
He is very raspy.
I will say that he does really well, apart from when he imitates Rowan.
Oh my god, yeah, it's so
It
cringe.
Pissed me off. He talks like this.
It's so funny. He cannot do it. No. So, we are switching to the perspective of Graham.
Fuck Graham.
I know, fuck,
Right off the bat.
Right off the
fuck Graham.
Right off the bat, fuck Graham. Like, first line. But, I mean, yeah, already fuck Graham. I mean, what he's doing just now, like, so he's doing watch, and he's bored, but, you know, it's kind of gotta be done. So he's just kind of describing, he's on this fancy-ass white-tailed deer hunting reserve that they've turned into kind of like a camp during, you know, like the apocalypse. And, yeah, so he's just kind of describing that. I mean, this... Literally, yeah, exactly what I
It's a
said.
ranch.
It's a ranch. It's a ranch and there's fences. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And he kind of goes on this little, like, internal rant about how the average US citizen has gone soft and can't handle the lack of electricity and water, but because they're, like, so hard, they, you know exactly how to survive and shit, like, blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, he kind of muses as well that it was probably an EMP that knocked everything out. So, yeah, that never gets explained or mentioned again, but whatever. So he's bored, and, you know, so it's been the radio, they have radios, has been silent for ages, but now there's a ping. Like somebody phone radios him as like, bruh, there's something in the trees.
Oh shit.
And so he sees Rowan by the trees, and he already, you know, gets out his rifle and gets ready to fire. Classic American. But...
shoot first, ask questions later.
Exactly. But then he realizes, oh no, it's a woman! I can shoot random innocent men, but I can't shoot an innocent woman. And he sees a trip. So he reports to the others, like through the radio. They're kind of wondering, so is she bait for a trap, or is she legit just, you know, a random injured woman? So let's go check. We're back to Rowan's perspective. So yeah, this is where, you know, the last chapter left off. She got a hand over her mouth, and there's a dude just fucking picking her up.
Yeah.
And also he's being really creepy, so I wrote in a quote, "When I move my hand, you're gonna keep your mouth shut like a good little girl." Like, that's literally what he says.
Okay, right. Okay. See, in this context... that's horrific.
That is horrific. This is my next note as well, because like she just very nearly escaped brutal gang rape, you know.
Yeah.
Like, if you just gone through that, you're like, shit, okay, I'm kind of safe, and then some fucking rando picks you up. He's and
like,
says,
"You're gonna be a good little girl for me." I'd be like, oh fuck.
Will I fuck? Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly. So she's not having it as
like,
well.
See that line, right? See if it was used in the correct context by someone you know and someone you're consenting with. Fair enough. It could be
exactly.
Kind of sexy.
Yeah, like...
see, saying that for your first thing you ever say to a stranger.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
Exactly, and a stranger, like, yeah, who
like
you...
a stranger
who you were gagging as well,
yeah.
you know, randomly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like,
what?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is only the first of many rounds people have about Graham, just warning you guys.
We fucking hate Graham.
You fucking hate Graham. I mean, it gets worse, right? So, you know, as we just said, she's not having it because she's not in their mindset for that, or, as you know, she shouldn't have it.
She's freaked out.
And she's freaked out, so she headbutts him, but, you know, it doesn't really work. He throws her over his shoulder, and after she protests, he fucking threatens to snap her neck. Again, fuck Graham, because, like, that is, like, you know, a bit overreacting, you know, and Jesus Christ.
Because you've came to this woman and picked her up.
Exactly, so randomly fucking
why
picked her up.
Why are you acting like, oh, why are you fighting me? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Should I not be kicking the stranger who's lifting me?
And carrying me off to fucking wherever.
Fuck knows.
Fuck knows, exactly.
Anyway.
Oh my god, right. So she kind of like tries to like hit him with her elbows, and she names him Conan the Barbarian.
Which is very fitting.
Which is actually kind of funny, it's pretty fitting. Also, right, and then what he does, he spanks her like on the ass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're burping in disgust.
Yeah, I am burping in disgust. So she's like, what the fuck, obviously. And that's why she wishes she had like long acrylic nails like the Mistress of Evil. Which doesn't get explained right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, back to Graham's perspective, and oh my god. And so she bites him. That's the next thing she does.
Which is like, I can totally relate to that, because that is my go-to plan if someone puts like their hand over my mouth.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Like, I'm taking a finger off.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No questions asked.
No question asked. Like, yeah, she like bites him in the back, and like he admits that, I kind of hurt a bit. But he's like, oh, I gotta smack her round little ass again, and like, I just put puke emoji in my mouth, because like, this is how this makes me feel, right? And obviously, right, okay, so he gets turned on, like...
by kidnapping a woman.
By kidnapping a woman, exactly, so...
by kidnapping and, like, grabbing a woman.
Exactly.
Like, forcibly, like, threatening a woman.
Exactly.
This is red flag 101.
This is red flag 101. This is
Reminds me while we're
this is the whole fucking Soviet Union, mate.
Right.
This is not one red flag, this is, you know...
yeah, exactly.
This is the Soviet Union, yeah.
Like, remind me why we're supposed to find him sexy. Remind me why he's the love interest again.
I know.
Excuse me?
He literally zero redeeming qualities, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so he's kind of things like, he's curious, like, what kind of, like, what her deal is, like, who she is, if she's a trap, if she's just, like, a random woman, whatever. Yeah, and they're getting close to the camp, but, like, yeah, that's it just now.
Yeah. So, yeah, as we've said, Graham just kind of leads her to the camp with his over his shoulder, who Rowan continues to protest, obviously, and then he proper, like, just chucks her down on this picnic bench and gets all up in her face. Like, this poor woman, right?
Just remember, yeah.
But this is a really important moment because Rowan realises that she can actually see in the ranch, like in the campsite.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So she notices, obviously, how well she can see his face, and she sees that there's lights.
Yeah.
Which she uses promptly to look him up and down and kind of assess him. Okay. Apparently, if she had saw Graham in the street in another time, she would have, quote, spontaneously orgasmed. Ah, yes.
What women always do when they see somebody attractive.
They just
spontaneously
orgasm. That would make life so difficult. You couldn't leave the house.
You would leave the house, yeah. Yeah, that would be difficult.
So Graham, he is a big, hunky man, which briefly distracts her, but she also sees that he has a fucking gun. So she feels very threatened, plus the fact, obviously, that he threatened to, like, snap her neck and, like, all of these things. Like, why would she think he's a nice man?
Exactly.
For no reason. Yeah. Exactly.
And hit her repeatedly.
Exactly. So, obviously, noticing this kind of, like, change in her mindset, because Rowan kind of folds in on herself at this point, Graham reassures her that he won't kill her.
Oh, that's good to know, thanks.
Yeah, and Rowan gets very sassy about all he's done. Like, it's given the impression that he definitely will kill her.
Yeah.
Which is so fair, right? So, as if this couldn't get worse, another man appears. And he sits right down next to her and jokes about Graham being all talk, so, like, don't worry, sweetheart. Which lightens the mood, and this blonde Adonis is Zach, the saving grace of this terrible novel. Now, I say that, Zach is so flawed as well.
Oh, he is. Like, Zach is...
But he is the only thing that made me go, okay,
I can somewhat see this. Yeah, exactly. Like, if it had been just Graham, I, like, literally...
We would have... This book would have been binned.
Yeah, I don't think I could have finished it. Zach is okay.
That's why I say the saving... Zach is the bare minimum.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Zach asks for consent.
And that's cool. Exactly. So, obviously, Rowan starts to wonder who these men are, and how they have a base with electricity, and they're starting to wonder things too. So they ask her, why is she here? And she explains that she was running from these rednecks, and obviously she also explains what she's witnessed. She asks about where she is, but Graham doesn't believe her, so won't tell her anything, once again being a prick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zach doesn't understand Graham's aggression, I should say now, as they know about the rednecks. So, why doesn't Graham believe her?
Exactly.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Anyway.
Let's just not believe women when they claim they have gone through something horrific, you know? Yeah, because women are always lying, bitches.
Let's not believe this person I forcibly dragged onto my property.
I know.
Fuck you, Graham. Anyway, Rowan does not appreciate being called a liar when she's not one, and tells them, well, go get the woman then and prove it.
Yeah.
Like, go on
exactly.
then, call my bluff, go do it. Yeah. So, yeah. Zach's kind of like, no, like, you should rest, like, because Graham and Rowan are getting kind of quite pissed off at each other. So Zach's like, you should just rest, and then we'll have a little look over you. And then Graham, like, leaves in a huff because he can't stand
women talking,
apparently. Yeah. Okay. So Rowan begs Zach to go get the other woman, but Zach is more focused on her and her injuries to discuss it, so he kind of shuts that conversation down. Bo, the grumpy Army medic?
I think the Marines.
That's right.
No, the Navy and the Marines are something else. That's a different thing.
Then why is it called the Marine?
I don't know. I don't know. Like the Navy and the Marines.
Knowledge once again.
Once again, America explain.
America explain. Anyway, so he's a grumpy medic, and he appears, and assesses her fucked up ankle. Like, her wrist is sore, but her ankle is, like, genuinely fucked up.
Yeah.
And Graham reappears, just, like fucking hovering over her. And he's showing an odd amount of affection for her during this assessment. Which, okay. And?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Cool
like,
story, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool motive, still kidnapping.
Cool motive, still kidnapping, indeed. So they don't think her ankle's broken, but it is definitely sprained at the very least. And that means she has to stay off it for at least a few days. And any crutches that they have on site are far too big for her because they're all made for big, like, army men.
Let me just say really quick, you can adjust crutches height.
Right.
They're usually made like a
That's the point
standard
of them,
size.
right?
That's the whole point, because like hospitals don't have like different sets of crutches.
Unless this
You
is
just
some kind of bullshit, like, in the field kind
Army
of crutches.
shit or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway. Bullshit excuse. So, this is the first mention of "she won't be going anywhere" from Graham, which obviously sets off alarm bells for Rowan, who explains, "I have places to be, so no, actually, I won't be staying." Graham wants to know where this place is, and when she doesn't answer, he grabs her face, like,
Oh yeah.
grabs
Oh my
her
god, he
face
does this all the time, and I hate
gets
it
all
so much.
Sigma male on her.
Yeah.
Being like, calling her woman, like getting like all up in her fucking face. Also, I have to mention, I don't think I wrote it down here, or it happens at another moment, but Bo's a bit sexist as well, right? Because he's telling her about how he's explaining how her leg is sprained, but he's not telling her, he's telling the boys.
Oh, I remember
and she's
that.
Like,
yeah, it was like,
I
I'm
can
right
fucking
here.
hear.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Speak to me, the patient.
Exactly.
Why are you speaking to them? Like,
oh god, yeah,
bullshit.
I remember that.
Anyway, it pissed me off. So obviously Zach swoops in again and diffuses the situation by offering her a shower. And he's like, okay, that's fine. Why don't you go for a shower and then you'll think about it. And he says he will help her because of her fucked up leg, but Graham makes him go on watch so he can do it like a prick.
He's such a creepy fucking bastard. So this is happening, I guess. So Graham, fucking picks her up and like carries her to the showers.
Yep.
Ro is not sure if she likes this because so far her experience with Graham hasn't been overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah,
But I mean mostly so. She notices there's electric light, which is like fucking eye. And so she just kind of describes, what's going on. So they're in a high school locker room kind of place. So there's, caged lockers all around. They all have, like camo shit, like and like manly stuff. Except there's one that has pink bath toys in it, which is really cute, I think.
Yeah.
But that will get explained later as well. Conan, as she still says, because she still doesn't even fucking know his name. Like, they have to introduce himself to her. Returns and sets down like a metal folding chair in the shower. And starts undressing her. So Rose like, bruh.
Stop. I'm not an invalid.
Exactly, like, I mean, her ankle is sprayed. Like, I fucking sprayed my ankle before, like,
her
ripped
hands
ligaments.
are fine. Also, it's mentioned that Rose sprained her ankle multiple times later on.
Oh yeah, I
so
think
she's
she
used
does,
to this.
yeah, exactly. And that's like, you're not fucking incapacitated if like one ankle is sprained. But so Conan, or Graham, sits her down on the shower chair and orders her to toss him her clothes. And then he threatens to do it for her if she doesn't comply, so he's just gonna fucking strip her naked.
Major red
forcefully.
flag. Again.
Once again, Soviet Union. And oh my god, okay, so he's all like, oh chill, it's not a big deal, I've seen everything before, I'm not gonna look. Keep this in mind, right? Okay, so he's
You're so mad right now.
I'm so mad right now. So he's still not fucking leaving, and Rose like, okay, well, I guess I'm, fucking trapped. So I mean, the shower's great though, this hot water, which she hasn't seen in a week, obviously.
Yeah.
And so she kind of asks, like, oh, where's the hot water coming from? But he explains, like, yeah, they're fully prepared. So they got their own wells, got their own, like, guineas and everything. So, they're fucking sorted. So Ro, she tries to get some soap from, like, a soap dispenser, and she falls. She slips off the chair.
Yep.
Conan catches her.
How did he know to catch her if he wasn't looking?
Oh, of course he was fucking looking. And also, we're back to his perspective, and he's got a raging boner from those titties. And, like, he goes really into detail about it, like, oh yeah, he would bet the ranch on it, that they're real, and he explains that, like, there's no woman in the camp, apart from a married one, so his balls do be blue.
I don't give a fuck.
Exactly, I don't give a fuck, right? And also, like, I want to point out...
You just get to kidnap a woman so you can drag her back and have her as a sex toy. That's so inappropriate.
Exactly. I love how inappropriate was the word you used.
It is!
It is. Honestly, right? Also, see, because he was fucking gaslighting her earlier, that she was, like, a bit uncomfortable with a fucking stranger watching her naked. He was like, oh, you know, chill, it's fine. Like, because, for example, like... Yeah, exactly, like, I mean, you know, which is already not valid.
Like, oh, well, I've seen you naked before, is like, no means no, my guy. She told you to leave.
Exactly.
Listen.
Exactly, no means no, and because, like, this excuse, I mean, or, like, not even excuse, right, but it would be, like, one thing if, like, he was a doctor having to do, you know, like, a medical on her, and, like, she's a bit uncomfortable, he's like, listen, this is my job, you know, reassuring you, like, I'm not gonna, you know, this is not sexual at all, you know.
Exactly.
But that is one thing, okay? But, like, he also clearly has, like, he is really turned on by her and, like, watching her and shit.
Yeah, he has,
so...
like, he has ulterior motives in
absolutely,
this.
exactly. He's fucking, like, gaslight gatekeep girl bossing her.
Gun safety.
Gun safety. So he brings her some soap and shampoo, and Rose blushing hard, and... Yeah, so she kind of really liked, like, his hands over her nipple, and the shampoo, you know, like, looks like cum, so she immediately thinks about jerking him off.
This is the moment for me where I was like, Rowan's not a real woman. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh,
and I
absolutely.
don't mean that in, like, a cruel way, I just mean, like, this is not how women react.
This is not how women react, no.
It's just not.
And also, oh my god, the next bit also really pissed me off, because she's like, thank god for laser hair removal, otherwise I would be so stubbly right now. And it's like, it's a fucking
me
apocalypse.
sitting there with my hairy ass legs.
Yeah,
like...
exactly. Me sitting here with my hairy ass legs in 2021 with a working shower, and I even own several lasers, but, you know, it's like, body hair is fine. And especially in the fucking apocalypse will be, like, the least of my worries, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be way more focused on this rapey dude.
Exactly.
Hanging around in the shower with me, you know?
Exactly, like, you know, priorities, my guy. Oh, God. Yeah, because she's proper acting like, you know, it would be, like, so embarrassing and, like, the end of the world if she had, you know, like, normal body hair. It's not, like, even... Like, she has, like, this disorder where you get, like, extraordinarily hairy or anything. Like, just regular fucking body hair, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So Conan gets her a towel, and he's stripped off his shirt because, like, he got wet obviously when he caught her, and yeah, she's like, so, okay, this is so fucking cringe. So he's ripped, of course, but also he has a tattoo of combat boots and a rifle.
This calls back to a moment and I can see in your notes in a couple of minutes, and I think it's so funny. I'll let you continue and then I'll make it.
Yeah, also, so the towel's tiny, so he's like, you know, he's lifting her up and carrying her back into the locker room again, but because it's tiny, he's touching her booty while doing that. Whatever.
Why can't he just, like, sit her down, put her arm over her shoulder, and just help her hop?
Exactly, that would be absolutely fine.
Like, so much less invasive.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's deliberately going out of his way to touch
fucking,
this
like,
woman,
to fucking, like, sexually
which
assault
is
this
so
woman.
uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yeah, so he lends her some clothes, but he doesn't have any underwear.
Why just give her boxers?
I know. Exactly, and I was like, oh, he can't handle, like, you know, like, the thought of a bare pussy on his joggers and shit like that.
What?
Like, that is in the book. Like, I'm not making this up. Like, he does think about this.
That is a quote.
Yeah, exactly. And so he's still, like, well, kind of wondering if she's, you know, just, like, genuine who she says she is, or if she's a spy or something. But he does lean towards her telling the truth. Yeah, I mean...
Which, like... Okay.
Okay, cool.
Why would she be a spy?
Yeah, exactly,
what
like...
important shit do they have besides electricity?
Exactly,
you know
it's
what I mean?
like... yeah. Yeah, so he likes to think that he has good instincts, but we got a backstory. But if he always did, there would be 11 men on the ranch instead of 9.
Ooh.
Whatever. And yeah, so he's back to being horny, and he muses about how, you know, Zach and him are competitive women despite their preference for sharing. So there you get that.
It's not, as well, we should state as well, it's not like a polyamorous polyamory. It's like a polyamory thing, but not quite, because Zach and
They say
Graham
no
are
homo
not,
after.
Yeah, and they're like, no homo.
Yeah.
Buried deep with my homing, but no homo.
Exactly.
You know? They at no point do they engage in sexual acts with each other.
Yeah.
There's always a third party who they quote unquote share.
Yeah. Oh yeah, oh my god, this is another thing that pisses me off. So there's more backstory, and he thinks about, Rose planning to leave soon. But he wouldn't get attached to any woman anyway, ever since his mum walked out when he was 7. And it's like, oh, sorry, bro, you know what? It's like, I mean, obviously, like, that's sad and everything, but like, a bunch...
Obviously, that's like sad and everything, but also, it doesn't give you an excuse to sexually assault people.
Exactly!
Do you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people grow up with single parents, you know? It's like...
Oh no, he had no parents, remember?
Oh my god! Sucking that buttercup. So he brings her to the clinic. So it's just a small room with 3 cots and some medical equipment. So that's where we meet Bo, like the dog who, like, I mean, he's just kind of like, sorts out her ankle a bit. Yeah. Tells her she can't walk on it for a week. And she protests. Conan, or aka Graham, is being a little dick again and calling her a little girl again. And, it's just so gross. Yeah, she agrees to stay the night at least, because she can kind of see that, she's not... Like,
she might as well rest.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
set off with, like, a full day's, like, proper sleep.
Exactly. Okay, and of course, Graham puts her in his bed, despite there being other options.
Yeah, there's there's a couch.
Oh yeah, he describes it like,
that he
yeah,
could have slept on, but he's like, no.
She's going in my bed. And also, this is the point, right, where he thinks to maybe introduce himself as, Graham Buchanan. So it's like, okay. And she makes a little comment, right, and about him being a Marine, and he, like, fucking flies off the handle. It's like, who sent you? How do you know I'm a Marine?
Like, the fucking tattoo and rifle didn't make it obvious.
Exactly, it's like the fucking tattoo, the rifle, and, like, all the combat gear they have, and, all his camo fucking outfits. It's like, bruh, it's like, it's pretty obvious. Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so, another radio comes in at this point, that there's another female in the perimeter.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, he kind of reluctantly apologizes for being a dick, and then skedaddles.
Yeah. So Graham heads off towards the command post, where he meets Jonah and the rest of his men, who went out to go get the girl. And he muses about how willing Ro will be to sleep with him. Yep. We find out that he's inherited this ranch from his uncle as well, which is like a semi-important point, but not really.
Nobody gives a shit.
No one really gives a shit, They have his men have found the kidnapped woman that Rowan saw earlier. And the men recount what they saw, which checks up with Rowan's story, and they explain that they murdered 2 of the rapists, but they have a feeling that some may be left. So the woman herself was chained up, covered in blood and mud, with clear physical and psychological damage from this.
Which is horrible, can I just say, right? Because this is meant to be like a fun, entertaining romance book, and like, this is too much for
so far, all I've had is like violence against women, and that's been the only thing.
Exactly, that's been the only thing, and we're like a quarter in. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's between the only thing that's been going on.
Exactly. So it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, this feels much more like military porn than it feels like
women enjoying themselves,
like
porn.
Real porn.
Yeah, exactly, because this is not necessary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for this, yeah.
Anyway, but we do know her name is Leah.
Yeah, and we know that rape is the best plot device.
Oh yeah, rape's a great plot device.
Exactly.
She says sarcastically.
Yeah, for legal, like, this is this was
for legal reasons, rape is not a character development.
Yeah.
It's not a backstory, it's not a character arc, it's nothing like that.
It's nothing.
It's a traumatic event.
Exactly.
Stop it. TV and books, stop it.
And anyway. Fucking Meghan!
Yeah, stop it, fucking Meghan. Enough. Anyway, point is, the woman, Ro wants to see the woman, obviously, when she hears that she's there, so she decides to sneak her way over to the infirmary on her very fucked up foot. It takes her a while, but she manages to painfully get there, once again proving my point and your point that she could walk the whole time, So why was Graham
Exactly.
holding her?
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, before she can properly investigate, Graham appears out of nowhere behind her and gets really pissed off at her. He lifts her off the ground and chastises her, but she sasses him back and tries to defend her point, where she was like, look, I don't know you guys. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm allowed to see this woman. You can't tell me what to do.
Exactly.
You have no
which is
authority
valid,
over me. And yeah.
She is not a small child, in fact. She is a grown adult woman who
But-
can make her own decisions. But
Of course, Graham being Graham, he just throws her over his shoulder and all the men smirk as she's carried off.
cool.
So no one's going to help her?
No.
No one's going to step in
No.
and be like, hi, you're being a dick.
Yeah, no,
You know?
no, they don't. They
No.
don't.
Cool.
Yeah, so Graham, carries her out. He's salty as fuck and throws her I still don't really know why. He throws her on the bed, throws her on the bed, just like gently places her.
No, he literally chucks her onto the
Yeah,
bed.
exactly. Which, because everything which throws all pretense of, I just want to make sure you don't hurt your ankle out of the window, but okay. And he's like, oh, Rose, too fragile to see the bad in the world. And it's like, my guy, you are the bad in the world, It's like,
What are you talking
what
about?
are you talking about?
You don't know this woman.
You don't know this woman at all, exactly. So it's like...
You've known her for 2 hours.
Yeah.
How is she quote unquote too fragile? She made her way her way across America
Yeah.
in 6 days. My God, I'm so
Oh my god.
I'm so imagining.
This is once again, right? Hashtag Rose not a real woman. So he's also horny though. And if you could switch back to her, and she just has to kiss him right now. Obviously. So they make out. Yeah, so that goes on. And, well, now Zach shows up and he's like, why you start without me? Like, he makes a little quip. And she gets, a flashback to, Charles and Evelyn, and so she needs a minute. And, she gets really upset. Backstory, Zach and Graham have been sharing women for ages, it's their thing. They had, they were, college roommates, and then, one time, they picked somebody up together, and they were like, oh, this is nice. And so... Zach wants a woman they can share permanently. Graham not so much, but Rome may be the one. But also, they
Even
don't
though they've
really...
only known her for a couple of hours and they have no idea who she is as a person.
Exactly. Also, they're not asking her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Zach tries to understand, what set her off. But he's being... I give him credit, he's quite understanding in this, he's not, pressuring her because she's like, oh my god, you're gonna think I'm a slut and that,
Yeah.
and, tries to understand, it's like, oh, no, why would we think that? Of course not, has anyone, assaulted you? And she explains that, now we finally find out who, Charles and Evelyn are, so, Charles was a partner at, the law firm where she was working, and she started going out with him because they were, different departments, so it was fine, And so, right, when they're about to fuck for the first time, they had a few dates and everything, was pretty, just, regular, kind of, office affair.
It was pretty established.
Yeah, exactly. They, they had a few, proper dates and stuff. But then, when they, in his bed, his fiancée shows up wearing a massive strap-on. And Rose,
No, thank you.
no, thank you. I did not agree to this.
I don't know who you are.
Exactly. So that's Evelyn,
Yeah.
and... After Rose declines and leaves, Evelyn ruins her reputation and her career by spreading nasty rumors about her all around the office.
Yeah, she claims that Rose stole her fiance.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ones as well. So that's what's been hinted at a few times. So Zach kind of this is not.
He makes a
tactful.
joke, but it's not funny.
Yeah, exactly. So he asks if she's down for a three-way if there's no strap-on involved. And she's still no, because this is not the time, my guys,
Yeah.
So yeah, they leave.
Yeah.
Finally. So the guys go outside, and so it switches to them, and Graham blames Zach for springing the whole three-way thing onto her too soon. Kinda fair,
Not really, because Zach was semi-joking.
Yeah, and also, because, he didn't know, obviously, the backstory, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, a trigger for her. Oh, that's been
Yeah.
quite recent. But, yeah, he doesn't have the right to go off like that. Also, though, the way they talk about her, because, Graham's like, oh, you wanna keep her? How are we gonna make that happen?
It's What do you
And it's like, what do
She's
you mean
not
keep
a
her?
foster dog.
Exactly. She's not livestock, you know what I mean?
She's a human being with thoughts, feelings, and independence. She should be able to leave at any point she wants.
Exactly.
Holding her here is kidnapping.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So Graham goes off to shower, firmly planning to jack off, which he does, and while picturing her sucking him off. Cool.
Cool.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro.
So he finishes, gets dressed, and yeah, I gotta thank Alison for the clean clothes, because obviously Alison, the one woman on the reserve, does like all the housekeeping.
All the like classically women tasks.
Yeah, exactly. And he's planning to then go tell Rose that she's not going anywhere, because you think like, oh god, she's beautiful when she's pissed. Like, he's really enjoying. Like, this is called sadism, my guy. You know what I mean?
Enjoying like upsetting.
Yeah,
her
exactly.
deliberately.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucked up.
This is a relieving that.
Anyway, so yeah, Rowan wakes up the next morning with Graham cuddling her with a hard-on.
Of course.
Did she consent to like cuddling? Probably not.
Probably not. Did she consent to her getting a hard-on pressed inside her butt? No, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, she didn't even realise that he would be sleeping in the same bed, actually. So that was a shock for her that morning.
Understandably so.
And then she tries to get out of bed, naturally, but he clings on. So, yeah, she asks why he didn't sleep someplace else, and he admits that he just wanted her in his bed. So it's nothing about what she wants.
No, of course not.
And she asks, which I don't think she should have to ask, to be let go. Because, this is a stranger.
Yeah,
I've kissed him once. He doesn't get to hold me.
No.
You know? Which at first he says no. And she's like, I need to piss. And he's like, no. And
I would honestly, I wouldn't even say anything. I would piss the bed
myself,
while making eye contact and being like, this is what you want, huh?
Assert your dominance.
Pee on them to assert dominance.
Literally. So yeah, she quite literally has to elbow him to escape. So fucked up. Yeah. But of course he needs to help her get there. So he, they get into a fight about it.
Sorry, I'm kind of laughing about the...
Assert your dominance, is that so tickling?
No, but like if she, if she was just like starts pissing while not breaking eye contact.
It would have been such a good moment. I would have been
like, such a good moment.
Yes, bro.
I would have loved that.
That's how women react. Fuck yeah, fuck you. Yeah, so obviously he's like, you need my help to get there, and she's like, no, I don't. Like, yeah. I'm fine. So he straddles her and threatens to spank her again if she doesn't behave. This is called harassment.
Yeah.
So, right. He does take her off eventually to go, like, to the toilet. This is my exact quote, like, what I've written from my reaction to this. Right, he leaves her to take a pee, but wouldn't leave her to take a shower. Like, what the fuck? I am so annoyed. Okay, it can't go two ways, my guy. You can't watch her naked in the shower, but leave her alone to take a piss.
Exactly.
Arguably, you're more vulnerable when you're taking a pee, because then you kind of got to get up from a squatting position.
Exactly, yeah, which is more difficult on one leg, yeah.
You know? But
it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
Go the wrong way, at least,
Right?
At least be, like, consistent.
Exactly. I was like, you all or nothing, baby. You gotta watch her pee too. Come on.
And going forward when she has to take a shit.
She just locks eyes with him. And we just there.
Honestly, that would make this book so much better.
Like, I know how I would have written this book.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And that would have been in it. Anyway. So, at this point, we also find out that Zach and Graham stay in, like, connecting cabins, because Zach is just, like, there.
Yeah.
And, he appears. And he, after she's peed. And he offers to give her a piggyback ride to the mess hall for some food. So we find out on the way, as you've said, that this is a whitetail deer hunting ranch, which explains, like, all the fences and all the weird, like, protocols, but it's not for the rich, it's for the proper hunters who use bows.
Okay.
Don't worry about the amount of guns we have. That's because we're ex-Marines.
Yeah, it's... whatevs.
In civilian territory.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, my guy.
Anyway, so the ranch was previously, as I've said, Graham's uncle, and Graham mainly grew up there because his parents weren't around, as we know, which Graham obviously inherited when his uncle passed 5 years ago. They eventually reach the mess hall after a very uncomfortable conversation about that. And they meet more of the crew, namely, obviously, Bo the medic, a massive man named Travis, the little girl named Grace, whose bath toys have been mentioned, an Amish-looking woman known as Alison, and her big burly father, as in Grace's father, Alison's husband, Jonah. Yeah, so they eat a delicious warm meal prepared by Alison, and Rowan is explaining kind of during the meal why she's there and where she's headed, kind of on rough terms.
Yeah.
And the boys are suspicious about how prepared she is.
Yeah, sure.
Which is, like, fair enough.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah.
Okay, you guys are prepared.
You guys got, a fucking bunker, so it's like, okay.
Exactly. So
she has some protein bars,
calm
calm
down.
down.
Exactly. So Bo has a look at her ankle, which is looking much better, but it is still hurting her, and he suggests that she stays off it for about 2 more days. So obviously Graham pipes up again with his old "she's not going anywhere," which makes Rose's temper flare, and he says, she says he has no authority to make her stay, even if she is in pain. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because she can make her own decisions.
Because she's not a prisoner of war.
Exactly.
And she can leave.
Yeah. Go.
She can go. But Graham says, well, no one will open the gate for you, so you have to stay. What?
Exactly. Yeah.
Fucking what?
Like, they are literally just, like, holding her prisoner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
And Zach tries to kind of frame it in a way where he's like, look, we can't let you leave for your own safety, like, for our peace of mind.
This book is Stockholm Syndrome.
Right?
I just realised that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah. She has no other choice, really.
She's fucking verbally beaten into submission in this book.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucked up.
Partly physically,
Oh,
like,
yeah, partly
exactly.
physically as well, let's be honest. So Rowan is obviously still determined to go, though, because who is she to listen to these random ass men?
Yeah.
Go you girl. Which makes Graham storm off, and Gracie speaks up about, oh, he's just mad because he has a crush on Miss Rowan. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, once
Don't
again,
care.
not an excuse,
Yeah, and it's like, okay, cute.
Yeah.
Kid.
Yeah.
But still.
Shut the fuck up, you're
Shut
a kid,
the
you
fuck
don't
up.
know anything.
Shut the fuck up, Gracie.
Fucking Gracie.
Also, so as soon as Graham leaves, Zach just like kisses her straight on the mouth. No warning.
Yeah.
Just
randomly.
right in there,
okay.
and he goes off to talk to Graham, and he's like, oh, I've been wanting to do that all day, now I'll go talk to him. Anyway, the boys once again conspire about how they're going to make her stay, which is really fucked up. Zach says that she needs to want to stay, but Graham says, as long as she's in my bed, I don't care. Yeah. Anyway. So Rowan is eventually left alone as everyone kind of leaves from breakfast, and she buys her stuff in the corner. So she goes, okay, it's go time. And she starts to get ready to go. She kind of like fumbles with her foot but manages to get it in the boot and sneaks away. And then she also spots a stream that she figures out it is like deep enough that she can swim under like the wall and the fences they've got.
She's
really
smart. Yeah. No, she
really intelligent.
Yeah.
Like she knew, she was like, if I go in this and it's hip deep, I can swim
Yeah,
under.
exactly.
Genius, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she strips off to just her shirt, and although it hurts her foot, she manages to get under the wall.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. So we are back to the guys. G-Man, as he likes to refer to himself. Here's Rowan has tried to escape, so clearly it has not been successful.
Yeah, they clock her on the cameras or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. Yeah, because they have watch everywhere. They always keep watch, so she's been spotted. And he's angry, but he's also horny again, as he sees her like through his binoculars. Because he's all wet and only wearing a t-shirt. Yeah, so he carries her back inside on her protest and like fucking like touches her up while doing it.
Yeah, he talks about her like wet pussy, but not like wet as in like excited,
Yeah,
like literally
water.
just water.
Yeah,
wet.
exactly. Yeah, because like, you know, he like grabs, you know, like her arse and like almost, you know, her folds. Sorry. Yeah, so he takes her back to Bo. Her foot's fucked, obviously.
Yeah, she managed to fuck it up.
Again, yeah, this bitch can't walk, like, for shit. You know,
she is Bella from Twilight.
She do be. So she gets some stitches from Bo because, like, I think she cut it on a rock.
Yeah,
or something like that.
she like scraped her foot as she was going under the wall.
Exactly, yeah. So she got some stitches, and like Zack and Graham kind of look after her. Then she, you know, gets a shower. Them two obviously look, which turns her on though. After she's just tried to escape from being held prisoner there, but sure, they dress her like a child. Okay, right?
I fucking hate this moment so much.
Brace yourselves, guys.
Yeah. As if it could get worse.
As if it could get worse.
And then it does.
And then it does. Graham offers her an armed escort home if she stays a few days to allow her to heal. Okay. You know, that seems kind of reasonable.
He's like, look, okay, you gotta heal up. Like, I will personally get you home quicker.
Yeah, exactly.
Than
like,
you traveling on a hard foot. Like,
exactly.
it will take you longer than just you resting here and me driving you there.
Exactly. And also, you know, safely with armed. But the caveat is that she is in their bed until she leaves. And that is exactly what it sounds like. So he's fucking coercing her into fucking them, which is a felony.
Yeah.
And so Zack is pretty shocked. So they go outside and Zack's
like...
Bo
is also like... What?
Yeah, exactly. But we still on Graham's perspective, kind of. So Zack's like, what the fuck, man? You know? And Graham argues that, like, she'd totally be into it, like, she totally wants it, which is, like, so fucking disgusting.
So Zack is like, I'm not a fucking rapist.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Zack.
Yeah.
Thank you for staying.
Thank you for the bare minimum, but...
Right? And then Graham's like, but did you see how she reacted when we suggested it before? And how she reacted then? I was like, what do you mean how she reacted then? With stoic silence?
Exactly. Like, and also that
my god, she must be into it because she didn't immediately have a breakdown. What?
Exactly, and also that is just, like, not an argument to, you know, like, coerce somebody. Like, oh, fucking hell, dude. Okay, also, like, you know, hashtag Rose not a real woman. She doesn't really know how to feel, like, she kind of wants it, but also, what if they break the promise about the escort?
Hint, hint, they do.
Yeah, exactly, hint, hint, they do. She could negotiate with them, you know, but she's also kind of horny.
Right, this is my point where I'm like, she should have negotiated with them, like, using
absolutely.
lawyering and shit.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah, absolutely, because, like, she this is literally her job, and, like, you know, it's been established that she's, you know, she's good at her job.
She kind of does, but not really.
Not really, yeah.
Not to the same way where she's like, no, I don't want to have sex with you, but you will take me home.
Yeah,
end of story.
Exactly, something like that.
And then later on she's like, and then she gets to know them, and then she's like, actually I do want to have sex. Under my own free will, and not as a part of a contract.
Exactly.
Would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been great. But no,
does that happen?
No. What does happen? So, you know, the guys go back inside. They have a confrontation.
Yeah.
Roha's terms. No, she doesn't. She just says, like, okay, you know, when I say I'm well enough to travel, you know, you let me go, which is like the bare minimum. You know, it's like literally just like not being held prisoner.
Yep.
And then, okay. Now this is where the actual porn starts.
I wish it didn't.
I wish it didn't. So she, like, wants to, you know, like, get the fucking over with right now. Okay, this is kind of cute because she's like, you know, should we flip a coin? Like, who goes first? How does this work?
Yeah, like, it's her first menage, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, okay, so... No, Zack wants to fuck her mouth.
And he's very vocal about it as well.
Yeah, they're both very vocal. Okay. Now it gets funny, right? I mean, also, once again, not a real woman, so, she thinks to herself, like, oh, she had pegged him as the beta in this triad, but he was just as much of an alpha as Graham. Which no woman I have ever heard speak like that, you know?
No.
No, like, beta and alpha are not, these are not things in real life.
These are terms that men use.
These are terms that fucking incels use. Okay, so, this is quite funny, right? So Zach, kind of like puts a thumb in her mouth, and then Graham goes like, oh yeah, show Zach how you're gonna suck.
He like pops up over Zach's shoulder and like, yes, suck it, baby.
He's like, oh yeah, show Zach how you're gonna suck his cock like a good little girl. It's like, fellas, is it gay to be obsessed with your homie's dick? Like, I fucking love how they like...
They're so overtly straight, but then also not.
It's like, it just makes it so fun. I don't know, it's so funny. And also, okay, so this is what I really like. So, Zach, proper, like, gets her affirmation of her consent before, actually, like, doing anything.
And not even just, like, is this okay? Yes. He's like, you need to repeat back to me
exactly.
what is okay.
Yeah, exactly. So,
kind of shit.
Exactly. So, it's because he's kind of, like, starting to, like, go down on her. He's not even, like, undressed or anything yet. Like, he's, just starting. But he's like, oh, really tell me everything's cool. And, like, gauging, like, her vibe as well, just, like, a general, So, which is nice. Okay, this is... I've said it before, but I will say it again many more times. # Rose not a real woman. They play with her titties a bit, like, kind of like one each, I think. And, like, look at a bit and stuff. And she's, like, ready to come. And it's like... I like a bit of nipple play as much as the next person, but, like, it doesn't...
Sorry, just the makes me laugh, right?
But it's not, like, instant orgasm.
Like, yeah, exactly.
No.
Like, the only way that would happen if you just, like, gone without sex for, like, 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And you brush up against a door and you, like, insta-cum because you're that sensitive kind of shit. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
You put your bra on, it's just like...
It's been a while for me, like, I swear, like,
You've not reached that stage.
I do not feel sexy when I get dressed in the morning. I have to put a bra on for work. This is, like, the last thing I think of.
When you put your bra on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so Zach, like, goes and, gives her a head, once again, with, like, consent, which is cool. Yeah, like, so he fingers her, like, a little bit as well, and, like, Nick kind of, like, talks about, like, her tight pussy, and then also her virgin ass. And kind of like brushes up against like her booty hole.
It's booty time.
It's booty time.
Oh,
This
no.
is when you get up.
Oh no.
And I think Graham just like kisses her in the meantime, like kind of like strokes her tits a bit and shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, she comes, like she has an orgasm, and like while she's coming, like Zach puts a finger in her booty. He puts a finger like in her booty, and she comes like in immediately.
Okay.
Yeah, and then no, she just like really hard 2 orgasms. So they're like, oh my god, that was beautiful. I think you can handle another.
Spoiler alert: she cannot.
No.
Yeah, the boys quickly realise that they want to put her on bed rest because it is me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you.
The boys want to put her on bed rest because she's just taken 2 orgasms and apparently it's been quite a lot for her. But Rose determined to not be laid up just because she got laid. And she is feeling a little bit sheepish after their escapade though, because that was her very first attempt at anal, which is like, aw.
Yeah, which is fair.
They redress Ro like a child, and they take her back to the mess hall, where they all joke about her great escape.
Yeah. So funny.
So funny, isn't it?
Haha, the kidnapping victim wants to escape, lolsies.
We're doing the meme of the white coloured furry creature sitting on a chair and
Yes!
like that's us right now.
This is us
We're
right
just
now,
like,
yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the boys don't trust her after the Great Escape because they take it in shifts to keep an eye on her. And when it's Graham's turn, he explains like
Almost like a prison guard.
Yeah, almost like she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. So like Graham kind of on his turn takes his time explaining like all the many security measures on the ranch. So there's like sensors that like set off and go beep beep beep, and there's like fences and there's loads of shit. And he explains that they had a special cage where they kept electronics, just in case there was an EMP. And they were paranoid because of their time in the military. So that's how they have electricity and stuff like that. So again, Ro wants to go see Leah, but Leah's sedated, so she cannot. So instead, Graham and her go for some target practice in the meantime. They do like a little kind of like, I've kind of coined it a hit the target Q&A.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if she manages to hit something, he has to answer a question, and then
The other way around.
she misses,
Yeah.
she has to answer a question. And Graham gets really horny over the fact that she can shoot a gun and shoot well. So it is very much just, again, military porn.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
But before things can get hot and heavy, some of the other boys come in because there's been a perimeter breach. The sensors have been tripped. Oh no. So Kill Bill noises.
Yeah.
So Graham gives her his radio and tells her to lock the door, and he explains that the gun range is like an extra bunker, so she'll be fine. Whatever.
Cool, yeah.
And there's an even deeper secret bunker in case they're under attack. And it's like what?
Even more secret.
Literally, it's like, yeah, you lift this carpet and you go under here, and there's a hydroponic door, and then it won't open unless you open it. And I was just like, okay,
Sure, John.
whatever. Like, you're explaining too much to a dumb bitch. So Graham heads out to the command post after this kind of stay safe, babe, quick kiss on the cheek and zoom. And he meets Ty and Zach, who are the others, like, on Firewatch, and they don't know what's tripped the sensors, but as they're, like, having that conversation, another beam is tripped, so Graham sets off to go see what the fuck is going on. And it kind of switches back to Rowan, who is listening in with Graham's radio, and then she's playing like solitaire, which is so funny.
This is actually really funny, yeah.
She's just like trying to keep herself like
occupied.
And she worries about her boy's safety, but then like buries that feeling straight down because she's determined to not get attached, because she won't be there for long.
Of course not.
Hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Fucking hope for you, babes.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's bored as fuck, but eventually the guys come back. So it's time for some foodies. And Ro wants to help out with something because, they've just been out for ages. Okay, and Graham goes like, don't think I'm a misogynistic pig, too late. But can you help Alison with the women folk work? And Ro's like, brah? Because like he just saw like how well she can shoot and stuff,
Like,
so
why are you not putting her on the perimeter?
Exactly. Like she
At least put her in watch. Like,
yeah, exactly. She can do it
move.
watch. Yeah, 'cause you can just sit there, She can absolutely go and watch. But okay then. So she goes to wash dishes with Alison, and they chat. So actually, Alison is actually a pretty cool character.
Yeah, I wish we'd gotten more about Alison.
I know, right? I wish so. So they chat, and so we got some backstory on her. She grew up Mennonite, which is like basically Amish.
Yeah.
But like it's something else. Once again, America explained, like, if you want to comment, like, please tell us. So she married quite young, this is tradition, and but she got widowed by a farming accident while she was pregnant with her husband's child.
Yeah.
And so she only wanted to marry for love again, not just out of custom, which didn't fly with the community. So she ended up moving to the city and worked as a cashier, where she met Jonah. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Like, it's actually really sweet how she describes it, because she was, like, quite heavily pregnant at the time, but, he was absolutely cool with that, took her out on dates, and, they've been going strong ever since.
Yeah.
And he's Grace's de facto dad, like, he's the only dad she's ever known, and he's absolutely cool with that. And yeah, she's pretty happy now. And so there's some more detail about how, like, all the guys know each other. So they've basically all met in the army, and Alison and Jonah started managing the farm after he's left the service. And then a couple of years after that, like, all the others quit as well. After there was a last mission where not everyone made it back. So they all came back to live on the ranch. But then 6 months later, one of them committed suicide. So that's quite heavy. There's a lot of quite heavy shit in this, actually. And then so that's kind of, what's been going on. Alison gives her some more info just on the way the farm runs, like the energy, like, it was really boring, so...
You don't need to know.
You don't need to know. Yeah, just like, oh yeah, this is compost, and then this is the way we irrigate our fields and shit,
And here's our pigs, and it's like,
yeah, exactly, and this is our life. Like, they have a whole like
March
little, like...
went into like so much detail about how this place is running, and not about how sexist her male characters are, and I'm just sitting here like,
cool, okay.
cool.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a jerk off, innit? And then Graham shows up and asks her to go to the clinic for when Leah wakes up. Which she does eventually.
In the next chapter.
In the next chapter. But she doesn't really need Ro, like she's just kind of, just wants to rest basically.
Yeah.
So Ro goes back to Allison and helps cooking. But she's also dying to finally get fucked properly tonight.
She's fucking gagging.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah. So then, while she's like in the kitchen with Allison, Zach sees her trying to use both her ankles and reprimands her. Of course she falls. This bitch can't walk.
She really do be Bella, huh?
She really do be Bella from Twilight. And yeah, so Graham also joins in, they have dinner. Then afterwards, it's the walk of shame, or is it pride, over to the cabin, like between like the three of them together.
Yeah.
And she kind of thinks about like, how she would have been embarrassed back in the day maybe, but now she's like, fuck yeah, because people are watching, she can tell a bit, but she doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here goes it. So Graham tosses her in the middle of the bed.
Again, not caring about her ankle.
No. Zach kind of asks if she's ready to rumble. Not in those words, because it would be a bit bad, but heck yeah. Once again, Zach kind of like makes sure, again before anything happens, she's keen, which is nice. So she kisses Zach, making out with him while Graham kind of like kisses her thigh, and take her like her. So
You're so pissed off.
I'm so pissed off, right? Because once again, okay, right. Let me start out first, up until this point, I'm like, okay, so I've got a hot guy, kissing, making out, another hot guy kind of like gently kissing the inside of my thigh. Sounds good, like I can live with that.
Yeah.
And then, so, they take, her trousers off, and Graham, like, insists that she, like, spreads and, like, fingers herself. And then, so she's like, oh, okay, so she kind of, like, plays with the clit a bit.
And does things that she finds pleasurable.
Exactly, does things that she finds
As
pleasurable.
she should.
Yes, she should. And, like, because, literally just started, making out, like, to, like, warm herself up, obviously.
Yeah.
And he fucking slaps her thigh and goes like, I said, fuck yourself, not play with your clit. Which is like, bruh,
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Semantics.
sorry, I wanted to have some fun here, I always wanted to have some fun. Also, right, I would be kind of pissed off if I had not one, but two guys on me, and I still had to do some work myself.
And I still have to wank myself off.
Exactly, like, I don't need you guys there, then I could just, like, get it over and done with. And exactly, like, what am I making out of this? Yeah, so she's... Exactly. Like, honestly, right? See, like with one person, okay, like the certain angle, it's very, like it's a bit easier if, like, you help yourself along a little bit, maybe, if you, like, most women don't come from just penetration, that's fair. But if there's already two people that are meant to be only there focused on me, because they got a weird straightness thing going on where they're not gonna do anything with each other, it's all me, then why do I have to do anything?
Yeah.
Like, this pissed me off more than it should.
Yeah.
So she's gotta, like, undress, like, her top and shit, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's, like, ready to come already from, like, some, dry...
Humping.
Yeah, from fucking, like, dry fingering herself, but sure. But they don't let her just yet. Yeah, she's gotta, like, fully undress. She's getting flipped on her stomach, and though the guys also undress. Once again, we've had this in another book, like, Zach's erection almost touches his navel. And it's like, why did you pick at that angle?
How high is the navel?
I mean, it's here. That's a good size stick. I'm not so much like I'm not so much concerned about like
it's the angle that it's at.
it's just like the angle. Why is it so straight up? I think it was the same in Bear Paw Ridge, wasn't it? Yeah. And it's like I've never seen.
I feel
a
like
dick
that's
do
popped
that.
up a couple of times now.
Yeah, I know,
like,
right?
What?
Like, is that like a weird beauty standard I'm not aware of? Like,
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so she, she very enthusiastically gives him some head, which is cool. And so because like she's like on her stomach, so I think she goes kind of like on her hands and knees. So Graham goes up behind her and like plays with her pussy from behind and asks if she wants to come while Zach comes in her mouth. Once again, fellas, is it gay to be obsessed with your homie sweet juicy cum?
Yeah, that part ends with her like having an explosive orgasm apparently.
Exactly. Oh yeah, which she does, like, so the kind of time is, so
but yeah,
like she comes.
They are uber straight, but
Yeah, but obsessed. With her homie sweet juicy
Literally.
cum.
Literally. So Rowan thinks she might pass out after the quote-unquote great orgasm. And she gives Graham like a lazy kiss, but she tastes salt, so clearly she misses his mouth. Just a sweaty body.
Also, once again, like, she just... Oh, doesn't she taste salt from the cum? I thought that was...
Oh.
I thought, like, she kisses, you know, like, Zach's cum onto Graham's mouth.
Oh, very possibly.
That's
oh,
what I
shit.
thought, what she meant by
Oh.
tasting salt.
I think you might be right. Anyway, so, yeah. Graham is absolutely gagging to get inside her with Zach. It's a bit of a one in the pink, one in the stink situation. He kind of maneuvers her, so he is, you know, prepped and ready to dive in. They get her consent before they start maneuvering anything. Here's my next note. It's not about the book, but I think this is really funny. I know that some people really enjoy this, as in butt and vagina. But the sensation of something both moving in and then conversely out at the same time with my body makes me feel queasy.
I know what you mean. Like, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I feel like that kind
it's
of
like if I was about to vomit,
but then it comes back.
and then someone stuck their finger in my nose
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
What?
this is terrible.
I feel like it would kind of create
know?
some sort of weird... I mean, I know it doesn't, but I always, like, think there would be some weird kind of, like, suction thing going on. You know what I mean? Some weird, like, pulling. I don't know.
It's just the idea of something both moving in of one area, into one area of my body, and then at the exact same time another thing moving out, like, genuinely makes me feel sick. And I can't describe why. It's just I was so fixated on that this really ruined this part for me, because I was just like, oh fuck, I hate this. Anyway, yeah. So they prep her a little bit, and they call her a dirty girl because she wants to fuck two men. Yeah. And they make her finish again before beginning to DP. Graham is huge, apparently, and he's going up the butt.
Ooh,
So this is causing a bit of hesitation, because she's like, is it in yet? And he's like, yeah, almost. And she's like, almost! Fuck. Yeah.
Understandably, like, for her first time, like, does she get, like, a finger or something? Or
She
is it
does
just...
get, like, a very mild kind of play around before they pop it straight in. But there's no prep being done, you know, like...
Okay.
As I've said, Graham is huge, and she's gagging for it, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
She feels like she has spent her whole life waiting for this experience. She's just like so grateful for this experience.
Yes, the pinnacle of my life, the most beautiful day that I've been waiting for.
My first dick up my butt. Yeah, and I've literally just put, and they all finish.
No,
So
like,
Zach was in the pink, Graham's in the stink. Piss?
No, that was meant to be jizz.
Oh, jizz. Oh. I guess.
Like, no.
It sounded more like a train stopping. Like a
there was a train stopping. You know how you also called it running a train? Yeah. There was a train stopping, so...
Yeah, anyway, they all finish.
They all finish.
The end. I've laughed so hard there that I've got white and black spots.
I feel flattered.
There we go.
Oh my god. Oh, thank fuck this is over. So it's now the middle of the night, and the radio comes on.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. There's three guys on the fence line. Like, you know, Graham takes it, and Rover wakes up and is like, what's going on? Because she's a bit exhausted after this. So G runs to the armory and, you know, grabs a gun. There's gunshots over the radio. Then there's not really anything. Then there's nothing. It's like, you know, all this.
It's stressful.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a bit like, but I find this quite often in this book that like things aren't really very clear of like what's actually going on, you know what I mean? So I'm just giving like an abridged version right here because like that's all you need. Like that, as I said, there's a lot of like military porn shit where there's like where they talk over the radio with some and who cares?
They talk about all the types of guns and I'm like, go pew pew?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, go circle.
Exactly. So basically, one guy got shot in the shoulder. I forgot his name. Alex has been shot, but is like barely alive.
Yeah.
Like he's bleeding from his head.
Oh yeah, it's like he didn't actually get shot. He like dove out the way to miss the bullet and then cracked his skull.
Yeah, exactly. Like on a rock. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. Yeah, but you know he's like unconscious, but you know alive. So Graham, Bo, and Jamie head out. They shoot one of the guys, who's like one of the bad guys. Then one guy is unconscious, and the other guy runs off. So that was that. We're back to Row. Alison and her are meant to stay in the mess hall / bunker with the doors locked. And there's a description of this massive fucking 4-bunker underground network they have, which is like, okay. Yeah, apparently
there's being prepared, and then there's being psychotic.
Exactly.
And this verges on psychotic, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently like the uncle was very scared of like a nuclear attack during the Cold War, so he built those. I mean, okay, whatever. I guess. And okay, this is also so fucking random, right? So it's in the middle of the night, obviously, like after they fought. And she's like kind of grateful almost that like this is, you know, how the night ended, because she feels that the morning would have been kind of awkward. And it's just like, what? Like, consenting adults can have sex, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like
what?
Like what? Yeah, whatever. And yeah, she feels like, you know, tomorrow morning her uncle should be fine, but she also kind of doesn't want to go because she just got fucked so good. But her dad and her sister are waiting for her, so And yeah, she kind of muses about how she was such a horrible person the past few years because she put her career first and, you know, missed like family holidays and stuff. You know, which is fair, but also I feel like she's like being really harsh on herself, like, because I mean her family lives like like a state away, and like, you know, she's, you know, I mean it's totally fair if you like recognize you have different priorities later on, but like I wouldn't say she's like, you know, that's like the absolute worst thing you can do ever, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean there's a lot of waiting. It's just, yeah, they just wait. Somebody knocks. Leah picks up a knife and is terrified, obviously because she is severely traumatized. But it's Graham, Zach, and Jonah who come back. So like, oh, what's going on? You know, good.
Yeah, I think it's more rednecks, like same.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. It was the rednecks again. Yeah, it was those rednecks again. Like we don't really go into any more detail here. So then Graham just like straight up says that she's not leaving. Like, what the fuck, first of all? And he's like, oh, he can't spare anybody to escort her, with those guys attacking them all the time. And she's like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, if anything is gonna get worse, and well, if you don't take me, I'm just gonna go myself. You know, because like she's a good shot, you know, like, I mean, she's
a good shot. She can walk on her ankle. She got herself this far.
Exactly. Like, you know, if they could just give her some supplies, you know, like gun and like some ammo, she'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
And once again, Graham like grips her by the face and is like, "No, you're too damn important!" Exclamation mark 111, you know. And he's like, "Yeah, we'll figure it out. Give us some time." And she's like, "I don't have time, but okay," because I mean, she's, you know, what is she supposed to do right now?
Yeah.
Like that's that.
Yeah. At this point, I'm starting to get really mad.
Oh yeah.
At the fact that they won't just let this woman leave.
Yeah.
They've had sex with her once.
Yeah.
She's known them for 2 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't she leave?
Exactly, like what kind of fucking obligation does she have here, you know?
They couldn't hold up their end of the bargain. Tough shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I mean, okay then, and she's like, you know, alright, what kind of just gonna go myself then, you know? Yeah. And like, the least they can do is like
honor
that, you know, even if they don't hold up her their end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense to us, but not to these idiots.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after this kind of lovers' quarrel, Rowan helps Alison with the dishes, and the boys spend the day burying the bodies of the rednecks. and they also do like repairing the fence that they somehow managed to break down. Don't really know how they did that.
Yeah.
And like also like running drills in case it happens again.
Oh, I suppose the unconscious guy fucking died then.
Oh no, Alex is fine.
Oh no, not Alex, no, because I think no, but they said like he mowed down one of the rednecks, and another one was like knocked unconscious.
Oh.
Yeah, so suppose he did then.
Oh. So I don't think anyone from their side died. I think it was.
Oh no, nobody from their side died. No,
Yeah.
I meant the rednecks. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I think two rednecks
Yeah, they
died
both
and one
then, yeah.
survived.
Yeah, one ran off. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Zach and Graham discuss with Ty about how they plan on keeping Ro. Sure. So Ty's like, so what are you gonna do? And they're like, oh, we're gonna keep her. Because that's a normal conversation to have
Yeah.
about a person you've known for 2 days.
Exactly.
Anyway, they kind of reason this obsession with Rowan by saying, look, her family would want her safe, and the only way that is possible is if she stays with us.
It's just like, once again, they
Not
don't know
true.
that, yeah. First of all, not true, and also they don't know that. They don't know how well equipped her family is and that, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
So then I think it's Tyler, Ty's obviously like, well, you know, I don't know how kindly she'll take to that.
Yeah.
And Graham's like, well, I don't care, I'll tie her to the bed so she can't escape.
Oh, that is so fucking gross.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, no judgment, like a consensual kink relationship, you know, like
No, that's it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly, that's it.
That's the key word there.
Consent is key, my guys, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Graham goes back to fetch Ro and thinks about what will happen tonight now that their deal is essentially off.
Yeah, cool.
All he thinks about. But he can't find her in the mess hall. So the boys start to think that she's done a runner again, which would be so justified if she had.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But no, she's just taking a shower.
Yeah.
Which she's allowed to do.
Yeah,
as a person.
exactly, yeah.
And she's kind of like got one of the men to stand guard outside, so no one walks in on her.
Yeah, which is valid, yeah, absolutely.
The boys are probably used to just like going in, like they've all seen each other's decks.
Letting it hang.
And letting it hang,
Yeah.
so she doesn't want to have an embarrassing moment with
Yeah.
someone. Fair enough. Yeah, see when I say something like, don't let anyone in, I mean don't let anyone in.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, Zach and Graham feel like they have the right to just barge in on her while she's having a shower.
Of course.
Because they've seen her naked once, so they can see her naked all the time, right?
Yeah, that's how this works, right? Consent given in one instance applies to all future afterwards, right?
Yeah, clearly. Because Rowan doesn't protest about it.
And just saying, if you have any autistic listeners, this was very much sarcasm.
We had a whole minute and a half there where we were being extremely sarcastic.
Extremely sarcastic, yeah.
It's not okay to do that.
Yeah, this is absolutely
And
not
again,
okay.
Rowan is not a woman because she doesn't react. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've said she's decided not to be mad as she wants to have sex. Cool.
Cool. It's like, once again, not how this works. Like, yeah,
So she kind of is like, I don't give a damn because last night was the best night I've ever had in my life, so let's just do it again.
Yeah.
And the boys are like, okay. So Graham gets a tit and blowjob combo. Interesting. Whilst Ro wanks herself off.
Once again, this woman has to do fucking everything around here, huh?
What's Zach doing? Just standing?
I guess.
Just watching?
Probably.
Not gonna help. Anyway, yeah, Graham at the end gives her, quote, an honest to God pearl necklace.
Okay, cool.
Fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Zach grabs the emergency lube from the locker that they reserve for wanking purposes, and they go for another DP round, but this time they've like switched positions, so Zach's up her butt because he's really desperate to try it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So are they still in the shower?
I think that they fuck in the locker room,
Okay.
but the tit wank happened in the shower.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, but I was just trying to figure out the logistics of them DPing her.
So she's like
It's like
sitting on
standing-
a bench.
Oh yeah, she was sitting on the bench. Oh yeah, she's sitting on somebody's lap, and then she
Yeah, and they're on a
spreads
bench.
Her, yeah, exactly, and then
Yeah.
spreads her legs. Yeah, I remember.
You remember.
I remember.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
You wish you could
I
forgot.
I had repressed this. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So yeah, they have such good sex that Ro falls asleep afterwards when they're all done.
Cool.
Just exhausted against this
Yeah.
man. Against Zach, I guess.
Yeah, she would be sitting on his lap, yeah.
So they kind of carry her back to bed, and then it kind of flashes forward to when Rowan wakes up, cuddled in between the two boys, and they've been so tired from fucking her that they've not even like got dressed or put like a blanket on or nothing. They're all just lying there in a little cuddle puddle. And this is when Rowan enacts her true plan. So although it although it upsets her very much, she just has to go. So she steals some clothes, some guns, some ammo, supplies, what she needs, and she fucks off.
Da, da, da.
She had in fact lured the boys into having sex with her, knowing that it would tire them out, so she could escape.
Oh my god, I love that.
What a genius.
No, honestly, a fucking chad.
But also she wanted to have sex with them, which I wouldn't.
But, you know, it's like, which is fair, you know what I mean?
No, people are allowed to want to have sex.
Oh, absolutely.
I wouldn't want to have sex with these people.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you know, same. But, you know, I mean, I just feel like in her context, I mean, if she wants to, you know, like, that's absolutely fair, but it's a nice little, like, two birds, one stone situation, you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
And then also the whole thing where they bargained for her to stay to have sex.
Exactly.
So she kind of subverts that.
Absolutely.
It's very fun.
Exactly, I really like that. So, we're gonna cliffhanger it here.
Yeah.
But, thoughts so far?
Fucking hate this book.
I know, likewise. Like, as I said, you know, I mean, you know, I've mentioned this, and you've probably seen, you know, we've had quite a few quickies, like our previous episodes, so first longer one since Bear Porridge.
Yeah.
And, like, which we apologize for, but, like, we've been trying to do this book for, like, I think literally 6 weeks. Yeah. Because, like, getting through it in the first place and then, you know, like, doing notes for it. It's not even that long. Like, it's about as long as, you know, like, the other long ones we've done, but it was just so hard to get through.
Yeah.
But we're doing it, and we're gonna bring you part 2 next week, so you can see how this resolves.
Yeah, and then we'll do our proper review as well.
Exactly, and then we're gonna do a full review.
Yeah. So any lasting? Any penultimate? No. Yeah. Brain no work. Read too much porn today, clearly.
I mean, yeah, it's fucking like this shuts down something in my brain and it just goes into like fucking freeze. Like
the error noise.
Error noise.
Yeah. No, I fucking hate this book so much, and here's why. It's bad.
It is, okay. Actually, there's another layer to it for me.
Yeah.
My problem with this is that, like, it could be really good.
Yeah.
Like, the premise is fun, kind of, you know, it's like, okay, cool, you got a bit of an apocalyptic thing going on. You know, nice little threesome thing, okay, cool, you know, you got some cool side characters, like, you know, like, Alison's family, I think, seems really nice. You know, like, I mean, they're still assholes, but, like, the characters do all have backstory, you know what I mean? Like, this could be really good, but then they're all absolute, and also actually I quite like Ro. Like, Ro is quite a headstrong woman. Like, I mean, you can...
Is she?
Yeah, okay, I was just gonna add that, because she's... I mean, like...
She's headstrong in the context of this book.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
so, for this book, she is a headstrong woman.
Yeah.
Would I say she's a headstrong woman in comparison to...
Don't say Twilight, please.
Not gonna say Twilight, don't worry. Fucking trying to think of headstrong heroines right now.
Let's say
Katniss Everdeen, right?
No. I was gonna say Lizzie Bennet even.
Lizzie Bennet.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
were talking about Mr. Darcy earlier, and I was saying how Graham is like Mr. Darcy, but without the redemption arc.
Yes.
And you thought it was a bit harsh.
I thought it was a bit harsh.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, which is fair. You know, I thought it was a bit harsh because I feel
like Jo from Little Women.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's a headstrong woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Where
I know what
she
you mean,
stands
exactly.
up for what she believes in, and she makes her points heard. I feel like if I had written this book, I would have made Rowan, first of all, use her lawyering abilities to fucking be like, okay, under this rule, under that law, under this rule, military man.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You work for me. I'm a citizen. I pay your wages. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Like, do you know
Also,
what I mean?
you have such a heart for rules, guys. Well, here are the rules. You know
Here's
what I mean?
the fucking constitution.
Exactly.
Get fucked.
Get fucked.
Put it up your butt. You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It could have been so fun. Like, I mean, if Graham, see, because like I don't have anything in theory against, you know, like the kind of like dark brooding, you know, like
No, I love it. I think it's
trope,
a
you know.
great trope.
Oh yeah,
I think it's hilarious.
It's a fun trope, but like not being an absolute raging asshole at the same time. You know what I mean?
That's the difference.
And like,
isn't
you
it?
know, once again, like, you know, if they want to do like a little, okay, see what I find really weird, right? That like the actual sex isn't even that kinky apart from the DP part. Like, it's not even very like DS.
Yeah, for threesomes, pretty basic sex.
It's actually pretty basic, actually, what I mean, right? But then they do all this weird BDSM shit outside of the sex where it doesn't belong without any prior deep discussion, you know what I mean?
Spanking her, calling her little girl,
Exactly.
lifting her everywhere, dressing her, like all of these things that would have kind of been agreed upon by consenting adults happen to Ro without ever getting her consent about it.
And also, this is usually something you do in an established relationship that already has a strongly established sexual component, and then you decide together to take that into, you know, like non-sexual spaces as well.
Exactly.
Which is fine, but like not like this, and then yeah, I don't know. And also because like
it's like everything's done backwards.
Everything's done backwards,
in
yeah.
this book.
Exactly.
You're so mad.
That's it from us for this week. Come back next time if you're not too scarred. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at NotMyCupOfTeaPod with a capital T instead of tea like the drink. And Instagram at NotMyCupOfTeaPodcast, just to make it extra confusing. That's T spelled out. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else you are listening to this right now. Also, spicy thanks to our composer Kyle Clark, cover artist Oliver Groves, and the brave editor Andy Wells. Till next time.